Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Ruach Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is From the Unicorn. Bahashem. All right, here we go. Now we're in business. Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is From the Unicorn. And pretty much what you're looking at in front of you is one of these such things. You know, you have the unicorns, which are satellites on the earth. And then you have satellites up in the, in the atmosphere, in the upper atmosphere, where you have your space station. You have your, different satellites. And pretty much what the satellites have is something called a feed horn. And the feed horn is pretty much used to transmit signals. And that's pretty much what is being done. So the Lord gave Esau this technology to be able to push knowledge across the globe quicker. Because back then when, you had a message to give someone, you had to wait the time it took for a post or a messenger to get from getting the message from yourself or the king or whoever it was, and bringing it, depending on how far it was, bringing it on horseback or through boat or whatever to another part of the world, and it would take time in order to get this message out there. But now, seeing that the internet was invented, the Lord gave this devil the knowledge and technology to be able to set up something called the internet. Pretty much what's happening now is that signals, videos, audio, so on and so forth, are being passed, from one point to another quickly. Like you could be somewhere in the United States and you could film something like right now, this is live, and people all over the world can see it. Someone can just happen to come across, oh, this is live. What's this all about? And click on it. Sometimes you have, you have brothers and sisters that come here to listen and learn. Then you have scoffers, and then you have people that just happen to stumble across this and leave because this ain't interesting to me. But nevertheless, this is the vehicle that the Lord used to push, this knowledge out. And in Daniel 12:4, it says, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. And this is what we're seeing right now, knowledge being increased. And why is that? Because we're coming to the end. And the scriptures say that at the end, the words of the Lord would speak. And that's what we're witnessing right now. So the Lord used this feed horn, which are the satellites. You also have satellites in outer space, or in the atmosphere of of the ozone layer. Let's see. Let me see if this comes up. Here we go. You also have satellites, that are in orbit, and the ones on the Earth and the ones in orbit, they communicate with each other through microwave signals or something along those lines. But I know it's a signal. It's signals that come out of this feed horn, shoot up to these feed horns, and then these spread it out and they go different places. And that's why you're able, in wherever place you're at, to see this knowledge. To see videos on YouTube, to see videos on Odyssey and Rumble and all them different other sites, to be able to go on Google and search information that you're looking for, whatever information it may be to put up a lesson together, maybe, looking for work, maybe, you're selling something, and maybe, you're looking for certain supplements or whatever the case is. This whole internet was set up as something that Elder Apostle Gabar mentions, a lot, is it's doing the heavy lifting for us, so that we don't have to go from city to city, town to town, state to state, country to country, to bring out this word, because the Lord allowed the internet to do that. And that is the purpose for it to be, invented, because knowledge would increase. And we're in the tech age now. And the tech age not only brought the internet and many other devices that they use, but it also brought something called the MOTB. The scriptures call it MOTB, which is that charagma, which they plan on inserting into people, so that they would be connected to the grid of the world, because they have an agenda. All right, so let's go to the first precept in the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter, and the 14th verse is the first precept that came to mind. It says, and this gospel, matter of fact, I started at 13, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Yeah, because it's going to be perilous times coming. And the ones that endure really technically are the ones that are sealed by the Heavenly Father before the foundation of the earth. Because this is a predestination. Some people negate predestination. Predestination is all throughout the scriptures. And the ones that are predestined of the nation of Israel to be saved, they're going to endure all the way to the end, no matter how hard it gets. Because the Lord is going to give them that internal fortitude, those minerals to endure. It says, and this gospel of the kingdom, which the word gospel means good news. And why is it good news? Because it's good news to the nation of Israel that the Lord, we found grace in the sight of the Lord again to be reconciled to him by the blood of his only begotten son, Yahushua. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be what? Preached or prophesied in all the world for a witness unto all nations, because all nations need to know what's going on, and they need to know where they're going to go. And the nation of Israel is scattered throughout all the four corners of the earth. Therefore, this word has to reach the elect, to seal the elect and to condemn the rest. All right? And then shall the end come. So the end is not going to come until this word is propagated throughout the four corners of the earth. The MOTB is fully implemented. And when World War III would be the culmination, of the end, because that'll be when Yahushua and the angels will become. Once you see that happening, the MOTB and World War III, then you should see Yahushua and the angels coming not too long after that. And that'll be the whole, the whole deal. And after that, then everything starts afresh again. There's gonna be a real reset. But the real reset is going to be, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and the Israelites setting the earth back into order. So let's go from there. Let's go to the book of Psalms, because what this is doing, it's spreading forth the gospel, spreading forth the good news, spreading forth the water of the knowledge, which is also the oil, the wine, so on and so forth. So we read Psalms 92, a psalm or song for the Sabbath day. And we jump down to the 10th verse. I'll start at 8. But thou, Lord Yahweh, art most high forevermore. For lo, thine enemies, O Lord, for lo, thine enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shalt thou exalt like the horn of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. And the horn in this case represents, strength. But the unicorn is this vehicle that's driving this knowledge, which is water, which is oil, which is wine. And it's anointing, the elect with this fresh oil. Remember, it's a new song. Because that old tired plantation Christianity song has been sung ever since 1492, which I did the math. It's a little over 500 years or something like that. I forgot exactly how much, but it was over 500 years. So that old tired ass, plantation Christianity song has been sung over and over again for the last 500 plus years on this side of the world. So it's time for a new song. It's time for fresh oil. And this is the fresh oil that was started back during the time when Elder Abba Bivens was on the scene. And for those of you that could accept it, that is, Elijah the prophet and John the Baptist coming back, and many other great men that he was in the past coming back, bringing forth the message that you hear today. And we want to give Vocab and Abu, or should I say Abu, because Abu found it, and Vocab a hand for finding that book, Mark of a Lost Race. And in that book, pretty much the layout of that book, which shows you how the Spirit works, was what Elder Abba Bivens wrote down concerning this knowledge. And pretty much it's the same thing we teach today. There was a couple of things that were tweaked here and there because, the truth was a work in progress, until now, because they started off following behind the Amalekites, the little hats, and then from that point on, certain Jakes started breaking off, and perfecting more what they learned from Amalek. But then when Elder Abba Bivens broke away from the commandment keepers, eventually, they said 1968. I'm not sure if he did before that, because that book in 1950, it was written in 1950, and he was quoting scriptures out of the New Testament, which a lot of those people back then, a lot of them Jakes back then, did not touch the New Testament, because Amalek didn't touch the New Testament, because the New Testament gives us the rest of the story, and how the Messiah came 2,000 years ago, and how he only came for the nation of Israel. So they don't believe that the Messiah came. That's why a lot of these Old Testament only Jakes follow in that same vein, because they don't believe that the Messiah came, because this is something they got, once again, from the little hats. So this oil is going out. It's fresh oil. It's a new song. It's that dew that's covering the earth. The Lord is causing his doctrine to drop like dew and like this rain that's raining across the four corners of the earth. And the thing that's doing the heavy lifting is the unicorn, which is the so-called satellite, whether it's satellites on the earth or satellites in the heaven, emitting these different signals and getting this message across to the world. So let's go from there to the Apocrypha. Let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6. And let's go to the 13th verse. We're going to read down. This is something we've been reading a lot lately because, it's pertinent to these times. It's very crucial to these times that we're living in. So it says, so he answered and said unto me, stand up upon thy feet, and hear a mighty sounding voice. And it shall be as it were a great motion, but the place where thou standest shall not be moved. Why? Because this word is effective. When the words of the Lord are spoken and they take hold, they make things move. The words of the Lord are the true movers and the shakers. Things happen. It comes to life. It's effective. It says, and therefore when it speaketh, be not afraid. Why? Because these are the things that we're waiting for. So when we see the prophecies speaking and going through the motions that they're supposed to go through, we're supposed to be happy. We're supposed to be joyful. It says, for the word is of the end, and the foundation of the earth is understood. Right. So this is speaking about the end of Esau's world. Because up above it says Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And pretty much when you read from the first verse, pretty much is going back before there was anything even created. All of these things were already set in motion. And when Jacob and Esau were born, that really began the great struggle between good and evil, and it started to bring forth the end of the world, even way back then. Roughly around 3,200 years ago. It says, actually longer than that, almost, let's see, that's say about closer to 3,500, almost 4,000 years ago. When Abraham was on the scene. Back in, I believe that was 2000 BC, if I'm not mistaken, roughly, circa. It says, and why? Because the speech of these things trembleth and is moved. Right, because what did the prophet Habakkuk say? Revive thy works. So now it's speaking. And things are moving. They're shaking. For it knoweth that the end of these things must be changed. Right, because we're coming to the point of change. So in order for change to come, there has to be a plan. There has to be a message. So this message has to be taught and spoken, before it can actually come to pass, which are the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, his prophecies. And it happened that when I heard it, I stood up upon my feet and hearkened, and beheld, there was a voice that spake, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters, which makes me reminds me of Yahushai's voice, because Yahushai is the one that's going to bring the end by his father's orders, Yahweh. Salakia, brothers, for that. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. And this visiting is done by what? By prophecies, by judgments, by the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the different messages that are being brought forth, the famines, the pestilences, the uproars of the people, these wars, rumors of wars, all of these things that you see going on in the world. These are all the Lord, drawing nigh to the earth and making these things speak. And he's visiting the earth. And in visiting the earth, what happened? There was a message, because at one time there were things happening, but nothing like it is now. Why? Because the message has been pushed throughout the four corners of the earth. So we're coming down to the wire. It says, and will begin to make inquisition of them what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled, because our affliction is fulfilled. The last thing to get through, unto the end would be, Jacob's trouble. And Jacob's trouble consists of the martial law, the concentration camps, different pestilences, famines, the MOTB, which is going to be the ultimate test for the whole entire planet. And then once that happens, then pretty much after that, things will move a whole lot faster. And the whole infrastructure of the world is just about set up, for this MOTB. Everything is moving digital. So these individuals that can't see it, either they're just blind or they sold out. They took a bag, because everything that's being pushed out here is being pushed in the direction of digital currency, because that way they can control every transaction, everything that goes down, and they can get a cut out of everything. You got to remember, these devils are greedy. Here it is, a multi-trillionaire. They got so much money that they will never be able to spend it in their lifetime, but they still want more. They can never have enough. So it says, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished. So now we know these are signs that were going to be happening when this world, Esau's world, would be coming to an end. When it was finished, just like that night when the handwriting was on the wall and they saw that big so-called black hand writing on the wall, many, many tekel upharsin. Well, that was the day, that was the night of the ending of the Neo-Babylonian Empire, that the Medo-Persians were going to take over. So right now, the writing is on the wall because this place is finished, and these are the signs that this place would be finished. It says, then will I show these tokens. This is the evident token of the signs that the Lord will show. The book shall be opened before the firmament. So now what is the firmament? The firmament is the so-called ozone layer. So how would the books be opened in the firmament? Will somebody have a ladder that go up there, or somebody gonna fly a kite up there, or somebody gonna take a plane, a glider, a helicopter, a shuttle, space shuttle, to go up there and start reading? No, it's talking about these contraptions here, which you have satellites in orbit, and these satellites in orbit are receiving the images or the signals from these satellites on Earth, and they're conveying messages, videos, audio throughout the whole entire planet. That's why it's called WWW, World Wide Web, and it's going across the world. That's why right now there's 123 people watching, and these people are from different places. So they brothers that's watching might be 100, and sisters might be in 123 different places, watching the same, video via what? The internet. These feed horns, these satellites that are emitting this, and this is the reason why the Lord set this up, was to push the word across the four corners of the earth. So it says, the book shall be opened before the firmament, and what? And they shall see all together. So this word, when the Lord gave Esau the technology of the internet, they thought it was for them to pass information quicker, because you had the telegraph, you had, and all that stuff took time. But now with this, it goes a lot quicker. You could get messages everywhere a lot quicker. And it's not just a writing or a letter that comes through. You actually see video. You actually see audio. You see information, breakdowns. And that's where we're at with it right now. So now let's go from there to Psalms, the 19th chapter, which we call the internet scripture. Psalms 19:1, to the chief musician, a psalm of David. And remember, King David was not only a king, he was also a prophet. It says, the heavens declare the glory of the Most High, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Right. Now, this is twofold. You could use it for looking up into the heavens and being able to read the stars and the alignment of planets and all that. But it's also speaking about these images that are being broadcasted, the information that's being broadcasted throughout the four corners of the earth. Day unto day uttereth speech, right? And day unto day it utters speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge, right? Because it could be 4 o'clock in the morning in some part of the world, and brother might get up and be watching the same feed right here. It could be 8 o'clock in the morning somewhere else, and somebody's watching. It could be 3 in the afternoon somewhere, and somebody's watching. So day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. Why? Because the Lord used this vehicle to push his word by his prophets. Surely the Lord God will do nothing but he reveal his secrets unto his servants the prophets. Isaiah 62:6, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. See? So the word is going out day and night. And it's not that a prophet himself, like Ezra, was up for, was that 40 days? I forgot how many days he was up just speaking the words of the Lord. And the men that were with him, which were 5 scribes, they wrote during the day, and at night they would eat, sleep, but Ezra would keep speaking. Then when they get up the next day, they start writing again, But it's talking about the message that's out there, because once this goes live, what happens is it converts, it processes and it converts into a video form where someone else can watch it later, not live. So it's constantly in rotation. And there's plenty of sites that brothers have, that are pushing this word. It says, ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence, and give him no rest till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. And Jerusalem, which are us, the Israelites, we haven't been made a praise in the earth yet. So we still got to keep pushing, And there's a reason why the Spirit kept getting on Elder Pastor to tell brothers to do your 3 videos a day. Get into the habit of doing a video a day. Keep pushing. Keep doing these videos. Why? Because this is pushing the word of the Lord forward. And the closer we get to the end, the more information is going to go out. And then when they shut the internet down, guess what? That's it. Because no one is going to be able to get to this. The only way you may be able to get to it is if you have downloaded videos and you just have videos there, at your disposal you can watch. But if Jake out there hasn't been paying attention and listening, they're not going to download the videos. So they're going to be asked out when the time comes. So let's go back to Psalms 19:3. There is no speech, no language where their voice is not heard, right? Because you have brothers speaking different languages. You have brothers speaking Spanish. You have brothers speaking, Dutch. You have brothers speaking Italian. Different other languages that they're speaking and bringing this word out in that particular language. And then there's people that take these. I remember the brother Yar Zayan from the New York camp. The young elder. He used to make videos and would take the actual video, whatever 5-minute clip, 3-minute clip, or however long they were, 10-minute clips, and he would actually put subtitles in the Portuguese language. Where people would, that speak Portuguese, they'll be able to watch the video. They won't understand, but they'll be able to follow along because they're reading the subtitles in Portuguese. You see? So there's no language where this word is not heard. It says their line is going out through all the earth, right? And the lines that are going out through all the earth are what? These optic cables or whatever you call them. I'm not an expert in them, in the internet, and but we do know that you have cables that they use, to push this, to make all these connections. Optic fibers or whatever the case, whatever those cords or cables are called. There's a reason now why you walk outside your door and you see all of this 5G technology rolling through these telephone posts, light posts. Because they're pushing for this whole system to be online. So the line is going out through all the earth. It's a fiber optic, the water, brother. And their words to the end of the world, right? And what's carrying this to the end of the world? The internet. Because we can't physically go to even all the members from all the different groups out there wouldn't be able to go to all the different places where Jake is at to teach this word personally, in person. Yahushua said, you will not go to all the cities of Judah until the Lord come back. It's impossible. And on top of that, you have people out there that don't look like your average Israelite. So how are they going to get the word? Because the immediate thought is going to be like, oh, that's a heathen. You see? So this is what's doing the heavy lifting. And that's why you have brothers that look like Hamites, brothers that look like Edomites, brothers that look like Elamites, brothers that look like the Filipinos, and different other nations out there that look like those nations, but they're really Israelites. Because somewhere down the line, their fathers, drop seed in those areas. And they're being gathered by what? By this word. That's why let's go real quick to Amos. Chapter 9. I was going to save this for later, but Spirit is on it now. For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. So how is the Lord doing the sifting? With this word. He's letting the fine go through, which are the elect, and the clumps he's throwing out. The Lord don't want no clumps in this thing that he's making. So he's sifting out and refining the elect, and he's casting out the clumps. This just sounds crazy. It's like as corn is sifted in a sieve. Right. And what is this? What is the sieve? What is it doing the sifting? The word. The word is doing the sifting, and the internet is doing the heavy lifting. How do you like that? Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. Right. Because there will be no Israelite lost. Because all Israel shall be saved. That's why the Apostle Paul in Romans 11 stated that, the Israelite foreigners to the time of the Gentiles be come in, or something along those lines. That was the actual gathering of the Israelites that were in a Gentile state of mind, that were a part of the elect, because they had to all be brought back together. So those are the elect. And then once all of the elect come from wherever they're at, and then it says, and so all Israel shall be saved. Because the Lord is gathering his elect from the four corners of the earth. First by the word, and then physically by Yahushua when he comes back with the angels. So back in Psalms 19:4, it says their line is going out throughout all the earth, and their words to the ends of the world. And them had he set a tabernacle for the sun. A tabernacle is what? Is a house. For the sun is what? This knowledge. So that's what these are. These are the tabernacles for the sun, for the wisdom. And they're conveying that across the four corners of the earth. Communicating with these up here and sending it all over the world, as you see here. These are all the different, signals pretty much going to and fro in the earth. And carrying this message throughout the earth, the entire earth, no matter where. You could be in Antarctica and still get internet service out there. So, going back, verse 5, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, right? Because it's adorned like a bridegroom coming out of his chamber. In other words, getting ready to get married. But what we're doing, the message that we're giving, is we're heralding in, or we're introducing Yahushua, which is the bridegroom, and rejoices as a strong man to run a race. Yeah, because when he comes back, he says he's not coming back to meet these devils as a man. His going forth is from the ends of end of heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it. Right, and that's dealing with this knowledge, because it's a circuit. It just keeps going. It keeps it in rotation over and over again. It's like a well-oiled machine. The Lord got it going for his word's sake. And there is nothing hid from the heat thereof, right? Nothing is hidden, because everything is exposed. And that's why they're cracking down, on so-called freedom of speech. Certain things you can't say. You have to curve your words. You have to speak in code, because they're clipping the videos. Why? Because now the damage is already done, but now they're trying to do damage control. They're trying to stop the word from going out, stop people from saying certain things, and penalizing them on some real BS, so that the videos can be taken down and channels can be clipped. So it says, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. The law of the Lord is perfect. Because what is all this heavy lifting doing? It's pushing out the truth of the Lord. And what it's doing is it's introducing to the Israelites the laws of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the truth of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the prophecies. It says, the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. Now, the word converting is the word shawab, to turn back. I'm not sure if that's going to be the same word here, but in other places, converting, shawab, which means to return. Converting the soul, meaning returning the soul with this word. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. Yeah. And that's what's happening, because we were all simple at one time. Until the Lord brought us into his house, into this knowledge. It says, the statutes of the Lord are right, rejoice in the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. Why? Because the Lord said, comfort ye, my people. Tell them that a warfare is accomplished. All the stuff that we went through was because of our hard-headedness, for our wickedness. But now that all that happened and we still find ourselves in this situation, there is hope because the Lord is coming to deliver us. The fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. And this is what's being shown in these different video epistles. It says, more to be desired are they than gold, yea, than much fine gold, sweeter also than the honey and the honeycomb. Yeah, because this word is rich and is also sweet. It becomes bitter, but it's rich and it's sweet. It says, moreover, by them is thy servant warned. And this is the reason for this word to go out, so that the servants of the Lord could be warned, so that they can hear, so that they will have no excuse. All right. It says, and in keeping of them, there is great reward. Right. And then when you go to the book of Romans, the 10th chapter, the Apostle Paul was speaking about this. In Romans 10:18, but I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily their sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world. And this is really more so now. Because back then the word was in those areas, in the known world. But now it's over here on this side of the world, using what? The internet. Okay? Now let's go from there. Let's go to Deuteronomy 33. And I'm going to just read the 13th verse and jump down. This is the blessing of Joseph, Deuteronomy 33:13. And of Joseph he said, blessed of the Lord be his land, for the precious things of heaven, for the dew and for the deep that couches beneath. Yeah, and this was dealing with the different the islands that were given to Joseph's two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. And then we jump down to the 17th verse. It says, his glory is like the firstling of his bullock, strong. And his horns are like the horns of unicorns. Right, because you have Judah, which are Eldad Abimelech's Judah, King Mashah, High Priest Ariah, High Priest Yaakov. They were Judites. And they were the ones pushing this word, and then once Ephraim woke up, they started to push the word also. And back then there was a Manassite named Daniel that was in the school back then. He was actually Manasseh, so-called Cuban, so these are the ones that the Lord is using, conjointly, for lack of better words, with Judah. Because the Lord said that he will bend Judah and he will fill the bowl with Ephraim. And those two coming together is a powerhouse. It's a powerhouse. And that's what the Lord is doing right now. Like the horns of the unicorn, it says, with them, with what? With this internet, with them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth. And that's where we're at right now. We're on the ends of the earth. And this word is gathering. Because you have different camps in different places, so-called Latin America. You got Mexico and Central America and South America and certain islands where they speak Spanish. It's gathering people from all over the world that speak in different languages. It says, and they are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh. Right, Ephraim and Manasseh. Because although Joseph was upset with his father because he got his right hand on Ephraim's head instead of his oldest son Manasseh, his father said, no, I know that. But, he's going to be greater. Manasseh's going to be great, but Ephraim is going to be greater. That's what he told him. And you see it because the word Ephraim itself means I am fruitful. All right. So pretty much that was it. I was going to go to another precept, but I think the point has been made, that these satellites with these feed horns is what's doing the heavy lifting, of this knowledge and bringing this knowledge throughout the four corners of the earth so that this word can be sealed in the minds of the elect, and then the Lord can bring the pain and bring this place to an end. because it's time for this place to go. So with that, I pray that you brothers and your few sisters have been edified. Until the next time I say, Shalom.